Hi everyone, I know it's been a while since my last vlog. It was before Christmas, my last one, so I'm really sorry about that. I was aiming to do it as a weekly thing, but things got in the way, and as my main reasons for vlogging are about my therapy sessions, they tend to come, I tend to get the vlogs recorded sort of every time I have a session, so it's been a little while since my last one. It, of course, being the Christmas period, there's time off then, and when I finally got my last therapy appointment I had to cancel it because I was ill, and so was my dad, so he couldn't take me anyway. So my next session is just under a couple of weeks time, so it's going to be a little while before I can record about that, but I wanted to just talk about how I felt in the meantime, you know, like mentally, physically, that kind of thing. Just so this is kind of like an updates vlog. Okay, one of my Christmas presents my mum actually got for me was this. It's my Mood My Day weekly planner, and it's a good way of monitoring moods, you know, anxiety levels, irritability, depression or mania, sort of helping you plan activities for each day, so it's like a self-care thing as well. And I thought I'd give it a try, so it was just after Christmas that I started it. It was the 28th of December, so I've been going through, and it gives you a guide as to where to start, what sort of details to put in, because you've got things like emergency contacts, so if you're in crisis, I mean obviously if you're able to concentrate, I know it's hard for me too, you've got your doctor's number, you know, A&E, that kind of stuff, so either you or I suppose someone you're around can call that number for you and just let them know you're really not well. And also, let's see, yeah, they have this thing that's called the IAM score, and it's for levels of irritability, levels of anxiety and levels of depression, and each day you give a score. So with irritability, 1 would be just a little bit snappy, a little bit grumpy, and 3 would be the worst, like you're angry, you're throwing things, you're yelling, you're just being really, I suppose, almost aggressive. You are being aggressive. Next thing, levels of anxiety, and again that's a 1 to 3 thing. Mildly anxious, so you're just sort of feeling, well, yeah, just mildly anxious, a little bit uneasy, worried, troubled by things, and severe anxiety would basically be things like horrible panic attacks and being terrified that something's going to happen that's really, really bad. And of course the physical side of things, like a real, like heart palpitations, sweating, you know, you just basically are really, really struggling. And of course levels of depression, they've got the it's actually a 0 to 3, and 3 is actually mildly depressed, so I suppose it means how high your mood is. So 3 would be just feeling a little, feeling a tiny bit negative, you're self-critical, you know, just sort of symptoms of mild depression, or maybe not quite depression, basically. 0 would be, well, you're basically in crisis, you're suicidal, you might be making plans, that kind of thing. But we also move on that same score, you've got 8, 9 and 10, and this is sort of where you're going from your hypomania to your mania. So number 8 would be, well, even if this does count as hypomania, I don't have bipolar, so I'm not the best person to ask basically for this. But what it says is feeling giddy, cheerful, energised, self-confident, ideas forming in mind, but also maybe irritable, anxious and even nervous. And like your most high feelings, overly elated mood, which is 10. And they say you're ecstatic, you laugh constantly, you become, or might become, loud and aggressive with others, and argumentative, feel like you really feel like you know about everything, you're like an expert. You find it hard to sit still, you're not sleeping much, you're all like wired, and you can also be a bit cranky. So this is basically how they explain it. So it's an idea of how to determine what your score is. So I know that, I've not really talked about it on here I don't think, but I know that for a while I've had the odd times where I do feel what I would call either hypomanic or getting there, but I'm diagnosed with depression, you know, just like unipolar, so, and I'm not sure I have the sort of manic feelings like strong enough, or maybe even regularly enough to really be to fit that criteria. I'm not sure why I get that really. I wondered whether it was a side effect or of like medication. What I found is, since I started on the sertraline, I got times when I'd be a bit hyper, but it also reminded me of times like even before I thought I had mental health problems and all that. So at uni I'd have times where I was quite impulsive. I suppose I felt confident about myself in a sense when it came to friends and feeling attractive and stuff. So yeah, I suppose I was quite impulsive there. So it kind of reminds me of that, and it's really hard to stop myself and like say, come on, I've got to calm down a little bit, I'm going to annoy somebody. Sorry, that's my meds reminder. Just give me a second. Yeah, so I don't know, it's hard to tell like whether this is something that occurs naturally with me or whether it's something that's because of medication. And it was just a coincidence that I had that sort of impulsivity and stuff before I was medicated. So I've been using this mood organiser, and I know I have to say I'm not sponsored by this, you know, the writer of this. It's just something I've got as a present, and I think I find useful. You know, I've got to monitor my mood, so I've been making sure I do this every day since the 28th of December, and most of the time my mood, it tends to be a 2, there's the odd time where it's a 3, and there's sometimes when it's a 1. And thankfully, since I've been on the sertraline, I don't think I've gone completely into crisis of 0. I've also had times where I think my mood is at least an 8. So when I feel like that, I've actually written it down to remind myself of what I'm like. I can... Now this is strange for someone who has chronic fatigue. I mean, I do have it, but it's weird because I feel really alert. I get sort of self-confidence, which is odd for me. I want to talk to everyone. I'm interested in what people have to say, and I want to start loads of discussions, and you know, everything's wonderful, you know, and there's so much fascination with people and that, and I start having lots of ideas and thoughts, so things that I had stopped doing in the past, or I don't do as much now, mainly because of depression. I've just not had the motivation. I thought I'm not good enough. Maybe like a short course, psychology, mental health course. Oh, what else? Like playing musical instruments. I can play flute, keyboard, and I can sort of play guitar. I'm not going to say I'm good at it. I'm really not good at it. I'm still kind of like a beginner, and I've been playing on and off since I was about 15 maybe. So yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, these kind of things like hobbies and interests and stuff it's like I feel like I can do all of that again, and I really want to do all of that again, and finally I feel good enough that I can. I have all these ideas, and I feel like I've got to grasp this opportunity and do it as soon as possible, and I don't want anybody to stop me. Also, if we go on to the sort of physical side of things, the only way I can explain it is this. I mean, it's quite strange, but I feel like I'm vibrating, if that makes sense to anybody. It's like there's this sort of electric energy going through me, and it's wonderful. I also get this feeling like it feels like my heart is pounding so much. I mean, I might be talking quite fast now, because it's doing that. And yeah, I mean, I know it's going to exhaust me, but it's like I want to keep going. So with this, I still get that anxiety. I mean, I don't think I'm the best person ever or anything like that, but I think that's naturally to do with my personality. I'm not a massively self-confident person, but there could be times where I think, yeah, you know, I'm not that bad. I do know some stuff. I'm not a terrible person most of the time. But with this, it's like, oh gosh, maybe I'm clever, maybe I'm more interesting than I thought in that. But yeah, I still have the anxiety, and I'm aware that I'm talking quite fast and I'm talking quite a lot to different people, and I'm responding really quickly, and sort of I'm aware that I'm being like that, and I feel like I should calm down. And I am worrying that maybe I'm annoying people, maybe I'm overdoing it. But at the same time, because I feel good in myself, which is something I don't say very often, I don't want to stop, you know, I want to keep feeling this way. I don't want to stop feeling this way, because when I do, you know, when the depression's really bad, it's horrible. I feel like I'm not myself, you know. When I'm like this, I feel like I'm more myself, like, or I'm starting to be the person that I want to be. Yeah, that, and of course gone through what I think might cause it, and because it's quite similar to how I was in uni, I'm not sure if it's to do with the medication or whether it's something that I naturally have. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll carry on with this mood organiser and try and note down more times when I might be sort of nearly hypomanic, I suppose. I suppose I could just call it elated mood. And I think it would be worth me telling my therapist about it and see what he thinks. Now, I think there's more going on with me than I'm diagnosed with, but it feels like they're not asking the right kind of questions. So, let's see, in the PHQ and the anxiety scale and that, okay, then determining how often I have these feelings of depression and how often I feel really anxious. But sometimes these symptoms that are in the anxiety questionnaire, it's more about being restless because I'm feeling sort of elated. I want to do stuff, but I feel like I'm not getting the opportunity to say that. So it feels like I can say, yes, I do this, this and this. No, I can't do this, but there's something else going on that it's like I don't have the time or opportunity to say. So it's like I have to discover all these things about me. And I'm sure you probably notice, because I'm a bit more perky, this is how I'm feeling today. And my pain levels aren't as bad, but okay, I'm going to digress. I'll have to say in a bit, but my pain levels aren't as bad today, and my energy levels are a little bit better since this afternoon. So when I feel a bit better physically, I suppose it is going to make my mood better. I mean, when I was at uni and I had those feelings as well, that was before I got physically ill, so you feel free. I mean, I feel trapped when I'm really physically ill. It's like I can't be myself, I can't push past it, I just have to work around it. But when I feel physically not too bad, it's, yeah, I feel wonderful. It's like I want it to carry on, and if it's not going to carry on for long, I want to sort of seize the day, or kind of stuff like that, just do what I can to, oh gosh, lost my train of thought. Just sort of take what opportunities I can, because I know it's not going to last forever. So yeah, okay, moving on to the feeling good thing. My pains since the weather had been a lot colder, so since sort of, I suppose just after Christmas maybe, the weather was really cold and my pains had been a lot worse. I'd been trying so hard to carry on my physio exercises, but I was struggling because I was getting such bad pain, and to the point where I felt like I was either going to faint or burst into tears. I mean, I was practically in tears at the doctor's, in the waiting room at the doctor's, a few days ago, and I was, oh gosh, the good job of practice isn't huge, and it was only a few feet to the GP's office, so it didn't, I sort of dragged myself there. I'm glad my dad was with me, because I was saying I might have to lean on you. I know I've got my stick, but it's not enough to help me balance. And yeah, I mean, it was really obvious to the GP that I was in a lot of pain, and I find it's rare that the GP notices that. And I tend to, I suppose, subconsciously hide it. I don't know, I don't like showing that I'm in pain or showing that I'm really not feeling well. Even at GPs, when I'm, you know, that's the opportunity to show how you're really feeling. And yet I still play it down. But yeah, this time I couldn't hide it. I must have looked awful, but I was at that point where I just didn't care, you know. I just wanted to get help. So when, in particular, the worst pains were in my lower back, to the right of my spine, and also my right ankle, and it was sort of over and just under the ankle bone, and it was making it hard to put weight on my foot, so I was hobbling quite a lot, and of course that's exhausting doing that. But yeah, she didn't examine my ankle or my back, so I have a feeling that she just put it down to the fibromyalgia, or maybe the hypermobility syndrome. Could be either, I suppose. But what she did do was change my meds slightly. For pain, what I've been on is Tramuleave, which is like slow release tramadol, and I thought it would help with like the sort of baseline pain throughout the day, but I was finding I also needed something that was fast acting for the, I think it's called breakthrough pain, so the pain that manages to break through the relief that you get from the pain meds. So she said she'd do me a prescription for sort of normal release tramadol, but that meant that I couldn't carry on with the Tramuleave because of the risk of overdose. So what she did, so I don't have like sort of an all day ongoing pain relief kind of thing, but I do have the immediate release, and particularly for my back and my ankle, she's prescribed me ibuprofen gel. I can't take ibuprofen tablets because I basically melted my stomach with the naproxen I had last. I took it in a higher dose than I should have, because I was desperate for the pain to be relieved, and taking one twice a day isn't the same as taking two at once. So yeah, good advice, kids. What was I talking So yeah, now my pain meds are the ibuprofen gel and normal tramadol. So I could take, I think it's 1 to 2 4 times a day. And I've been on Tramoset before, which is the tramadol and paracetamol, but that made me very sick. But I was on a different anti-sickness med. Now I'm on Stemetil, and I think it's brilliant. You know, it really helps with the sickness that I get from opioid pain relief. So yeah, I think there's anything else I need to talk about, but I think those are the main points. I'll see if I can do another vlog before my next therapy session, because I do want to make sure I'm doing this regularly. But for now, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll just have to say I'll see you soon. So thanks for watching, and apologies for rambling again. I'd love to know your thoughts, and if you haven't already and you like my videos, then please subscribe.